Welcome to the channel for the first time viewers. Welcome back for my existing subscribers. This is your boy 5 Stars, and I'm going to share a couple of tips for some of my beginner friends that have just picked up Rainbow Six Siege either after the free weekend or for the holiday season. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. One of the main things that I want to teach you guys when you first get started at Rainbow Six Siege is you're going to have to lean into some of your gunfights. So what I mean by that is, as you can see here, a lot of times when I engage with my opponents, I find a nice little corner and I lean across it or around it because it leaves you less exposed. So pretty much you want to learn the leaning mechanics so that you don't put yourself out there. Another major tip is that you're going to have to communicate with your teammates. So to do that, even without a mic, you can put a yellow ping on the actual game, which is left on the D-pad. So if you're looking at something and you're not quite sure what to call it, you can do one of two things. You could put a yellow ping and make sure that it is on the spot that you're talking about, so that way your teammates can see. Or you can reference the compass, which is at the bottom right next to where your ammo goes, a little bit to the left of that. I'll put a marker so you can see. But the reason you want to reference your compass is because you can give your teammates a specific direction of where the enemy is coming from. So for this engagement right here, I want to say that I called out that there was an enemy at the northeast window of the drug lab. So, or northwest window of drug lab. So my teammates, even though I got the kill, if I happen to die, they know that he'd be in the drug lab, there would be a window, and they would look on their compass and look to the northwest. Another major tip is going to be listen to the footsteps. Whether you're alive or dead, it's important to be listening for the footsteps of who's coming, because for instance, if you look around this room right now, the floor is wood, but outside the carpet is or the outside hallway is carpeted. So if somebody's walking on the carpet, they make significantly less noise than if somebody was walking on wood. Same instance of if somebody is a 3-speed versus a 1-speed, the 1-speed character is going to make a lot more noise moving around in general than a 3-speed. And you can tell all of this stuff. So when Ash or IQ is rushing up the stairs, you can hear that it's a 3-speed coming, and just prepare for that gunfight, because it's going to be a lot faster than if you have, like, let's say for instance, Blackbeard with his shield deployed. That's going to be a lot slower of a gunfight, and you'll have more of an opportunity to outmaneuver him. So listening for those type of audio cues, which I'll link a video in the description to, is what's going to help you be successful as far as when you're engaging, just by listening to what's going on around you. So once you get the mastery of the footsteps down, because you shouldn't be really running around or roaming, you should be holding down certain points when you first get started until you learn the maps. And as I referred to earlier, when you're making these call outs and you're looking at the compass, a little bit to the right of the compass, you'll actually see the name of the area that you're in. So right now I'm on the 2nd floor east stairwell, and I just switched over the exterior south balcony. So that's just how you can make these call outs. When you get used to the game, it gets a lot easier. And those are some of the things that will help you out in the short run. And in the long run, you'll know which rooms you can run out of. Just like I did there, there were some people outside on the balcony trying to break into a room that's all the way down the hallway. But because I know the map fairly well, I was able to break down the barricade, run through, and get a double kill. Another mechanic of Rainbow Six Siege that you're going to have to get used to is droning out. In the beginning, you're going to get into some rooms that you don't know where they are, because obviously you haven't really experienced every room in the game, especially by name, let alone which ones usually hold the objective. But after a while, I'd say about a week, you start to see that, okay, this room has the objective, this room has the objective, and then you just start to know the rooms. But droning is specifically important in this instance because I'm able to get a second look as to where the enemies had moved since the first time I droned them. You get 2 drones per round, so make sure you use them. As you can see here, we pretty much bust down the door, shoot one guy that wasn't ready, and by the time I was ready to reload, another guy had popped up, and we took care of him as well. It was just one of those very quick rounds, boom, boom, and it's all because we droned. And that is something I cannot stress enough in the beginning, is you gotta drone. If you're not sure what danger lurks ahead, then see what danger lurks ahead. There's no reason that you should just run into a room without checking and then get killed by somebody sitting in a corner because you have a drone and there was just no reason for it. Now I will say, before you just go ahead and start droning in the middle of a map, to be aware of your surroundings, listen for any type of footsteps that might push up on you. And this is another great example of what droning can get you in the intel. We see that there's a mirror here. I called her out, teammate shot her in the head. and I check the next room. So joining for your teammates is another thing that you can do. And once we found out that there was nobody in the little pantry, it was pretty much all hell broke loose. We rushed the objective and destroyed them all. So as you can see here, it's a tactic that works. You got to have really good team communication for it to work though. And we just, it's like knowing, it's like a UAV in Call of Duty. You call in a UAV and you can see where the enemies are, and you just have a better chance of winning the gunfights because you're more prepared for them, because you can see them and they can't see where you're coming from. The last bit of advice I'm going to have for you guys is just to make sure that you don't panic in a gunfight. You're going to see here that I take a hell of a lot of damage with just a 1 armor operator, but I didn't panic because what's going to happen is going to happen anyways. But what you can control is your composure during the gunfight. So you see here, we get one person, I go to reload, the person just pretty much nails me down to 4% health, and you know, I had potatoed a little bit, but I didn't panic all the way and kind of just slowly made my way to cover, picked up a teammate, and continued on to get 2 more kills. So that's what I mean by not panicking when you're in a gunfight. Hopefully, you guys learned a little bit from this video as far as how Rainbow Six Siege works and some of the things to look out for, and these tips are helpful. Last thing is to make sure you focus in on the reticle when you're aiming. That should be one last little tidbit, is while you're aiming, try not to focus on like your surroundings or anything like that. Look inside of the reticle, look on the dot that you're aiming. So if it's a reflex sight, look on the diamond. If it's a holographic, then look at the circle. ACOG, look at the tip of the triangle. Those are the spots you need to focus on and make sure that that is on the opponent, because this game doesn't have aim assist and you want to make sure that your shots hit. If you like the video, go ahead and drop a subscription. I made this for a couple of my friends, but hopefully, you know, the new players can learn a little bit from this video too. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.
The diffuser has been secured.